Hey.
Nice to meet you. Betty Bota, say you can have my daughter.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me okay in the chat, okay? We'll be starting in a couple minutes. I just want a lot of people to get here. And there's a special seat for our special guest, and she'll be here in a second. But for now, let's just dance and have fun together. Actually, where are you guys tuning in from? Like, tell me where you're tuning in from. Hi, Hadassah. Hi, Tai Tai. And let me know what your favorite dance is, because I'm trying to learn some new dances. This is still my favorite one. Hey, yeah, I'm still dabbing in 2020. Hello, oh, hi, Steve from Jamaica. Hi, Toronto. Let's get it. Wow, Akura, you're awake. Let's get it. Hi, from Kenya. Nakufenda. Okay, we'll start in a couple minutes. Okay, let's just get everybody here, okay? Hi, Titi. Hey, Faye. Hey, girl. I promise I'll say hi to everybody until we start. Let's go. I'm so excited for this conversation we're going to have today. And wow, hi, Ty from the UK. Does anyone here know who the special guest is? I mean, the flyer already kind of gave it away, but do you know her? What are you excited to talk about? Hi, Uncle from Ghana. Chale. Okay, girl. So, hi, people. We're going to start now. Settle down. I'm the only one who's excited, but like, settle down. We're going to be, if you're new on the channel, actually, let me introduce myself. Hi, everybody. My name is Janie Booz, and I'm your newcomer coach. AKA, I talk about everything as a professional newcomer to Canada, studying, leaving, working in Canada, and how to thrive. Get more monies, negotiate your way. Get more money, negotiate your way to more zeros, and glow while you do it. And without further ado, I'd just love to welcome my special guest. My special guest. Shade Ladipo, the one and only.
This is my first YouTube live video.
Oh my gosh.
I feel so great that I'm doing with you. Because it's like, I have a career in YouTube after all.
Honestly, so first of all, I'll let Shade introduce herself. But I think you guys really how we met. Good to see you too. So we're part of this group, this WhatsApp group, and anyone who knows me knows I suck, like literally suck at anything groups, like WhatsApp, like I'm bad. And we were tasked once, like we're supposed to have a meeting, and we're tasked to like just find 5 random people. And I was like, you know what? You didn't do it, you will not die. And I literally just called her up, and our energy is just like, well, first of all, look at that hair. Like, if you have hair like this, we're going to be friends.
Do YouTube video for hair. I'm like, there's just so many videos of people doing
Sis,
hair.
I promise you, start a natural hair channel. There's like 6 ways to grow your natural hair long. I'm subscribing. I'm telling you right now, because like there cannot be so many ways to tell people how to have amazing hair like this. So, congrats on that. And then Shade shared her story with me about like her experience coming from Nigeria all the way to Canada. How she literally landed here like some seconds to the lockdown. I wouldn't give too much still, but I'll just let her introduce herself so you guys get to know who I'm speaking with today.
Hi everyone. So this is my first YouTube live. So just go with it. Go with anything I give you, just collect. So my name is Shade Ladipo, and up until March of this year, I was doing the morning show on Silverbird Television in Lagos. I was on TV every day for almost 2 hours. Every single day, Monday to Friday.
How was
for
that?
2 years, sorry.
That's like someone's dream, right?
It is. It was actually on it was my to-do list, because I always have, every 5 years I have a to-do list. And so it was actually, I always wanted to host a live show. Okay. So when I got the opportunity, I took it, obviously. But it really, I'm a hustler.
My type of people.
I'm a hustler. I can't have one thing that I'm doing. It's not possible. I have like 10 things I'm doing. So TV was just one of the things I did. Yeah. I also used to be on radio. I was on Smooth FM for almost 4 years. I was doing a show on Smooth FM, which was very popular then. I run a travel agency.
Avienti,
okay. And we had a shutdown because of the pandemic, obviously. But we're still running. I got an email this morning. Can I get a ticket? I'm like, where are you going to?
I'm trying to get a ticket to Nigeria soon, so hook me up.
Okay. Then I'm also in the non-profit world as well. I'm a gender specialist and also trying to get into the diversity and inclusion world. I was the country manager for We Connect International, which was a DC-based company that was advancing the movement of women and economically. So I had to work with a lot of women in business, and I trained over 1,000 women in like 3 years. Wow! So I have a very exciting life.
I actually love it. Like I'm always that person too that's never doing one thing, and people are always like, "Can you sit down?" I'm like, "No, I can't sit down." So it's very exciting to meet someone like you. Honestly, like our energy is just like flying through the roof. We're gonna have a mini party after this, so you know. But let's actually talk about it, because I remember the first thing I heard was you literally got to Canada in March, and this is when the pandemic hit. Like everyone knows we're still on lockdown in most places. Yeah. But let's actually take it way back. To actually frame this, we're going to have our conversation today in 3 parts. Your immigration journey, how you decided to leave Nigeria, when it hit you, how long it took you to get from I want to leave to actually I'm here. Ready, yeah. Exactly. Things you've had to do to actually pivot your career. Like again, jack of many trades, master of plenty. What you had to do to say to get this next job, or to actually merge into this new society. What do I want to do? Things about my career I want to diminish, and things I want to amplify. We'll talk a little bit about that, because I know you have a job now in a pandemic, under 6 months of being in Canada. So that's like big. And I'll talk a little bit about your entrepreneurial path. Okay. So now let's take it back to the start. Like we've gotten some idea about how big your roles have been in Nigeria, how settled some people will say your career was for the average Nigerian. But then you probably had this, I want to leave. What was that, and where did that come from?
I mean, the truth is, because I run a travel agency, and a lot of the things we do it has to do with immigration. So I actually have done the process for people the past 3 to 5 years. I've been doing this process for people. Okay. I've helped families, I've helped individuals move to Canada. But I just never really thought about myself that, because the truth is, I had a great life. I can't lie. See, my apartment that I lived in, I could see the beach. I had a good life. I cannot even lie to you. I can't. I had a good life. So the thought didn't really pass through my head. Okay. And then I got married in 2018, and my husband and I were just like, and then I was like, okay, let's see what our points are, because it's a point-based system. You can literally, anyone can check themselves and see.
We've talked about it a lot on this channel. So if you're new, where have you been? You know how it goes.
The point-based system is pretty straightforward. So my husband and I were like, look, let's check it out and see what our points are. And we checked it out, and I was like, we have enough points, so it's very high. I'm not even at that point when we were applying, the CRS score was 450, 455.
Okay, for federal skilled workers.
Yeah, for federal skilled. So it was pretty decent. And then my husband actually went to University of Ryerson.
Interesting. Downtown man.
Exactly. So he's from the 6. Okay. His brother lives here. So when we did all of that, we're like, okay, you know what? Let's just do it. Okay. Let's just try it out. So literally it wasn't like anything was pressing me down and saying, but at the same time, I realized, personally, I felt like Nigeria, you can have all the money, but you are like one accident away from a GoFundMe. Just one accident. You are stuck in traffic. In fact, you have money in your account, but you can't move. Ooh. Tell me what you will do.
That's true.
You understand?
Yeah.
That's all that I was
all I'm thinking about, like the lack of systems.
Let me try and let me do this. It will be difficult because I'm a Lagos person. I'm born and bred. I've never schooled anywhere apart from Lagos. Everything I've done in my life, Lagos.
Guys, Lagos people are very passionate. You can tell the energy is like Lagos. It's like
Lagos.
And like if you think you've seen traffic, if you're from the 6, if you're from anywhere in the world and you think you've seen traffic, you need to visit Lagos. Matter of fact, let's go together so I can tape you. I can watch you actually freak out. Like it's like you honk for everything. You honk to say hi. You honk to say bye. You're in traffic the entire day. Yeah. But a Lagosian will never tell you that. It will never tell you that any other city other than Lagos is the best in the world.
I mean, Lagos is Lagos, man. No one see the energy, the unpredictability of the city. It makes your life interesting. Let's not lie. See, you just have flat tire on a Monday morning, and you are stuck, and that's it. You are there till like 2 p.m. Or police will stop you, and you are there 4 p.m.
And you're just like, I think about people who actually run businesses. Like your employees will call you and be like, it's, you know how here in North America it's like, oh, my cat died, and every professor is like, yeah, right. When like in Lagos, you're probably like, so I got hit by this truck, and 2 things in my car died, and they'll be like, it's not a surprise because anything can happen anytime.
I'm always prepared. Like I had this with my driver, right? He's been with me for almost 6-7 years, and sometimes he just call me, Auntie Shade, last man just pick me up now, and that's it. It's done. It's not coming to work. I'm just like, family, just find your way. Just from there, just find your way. What do you need? I don't know. I just go and give them like 5K. Oh yeah, I'll transfer you 5K. Just go. Because I mean, I trust him. We've been together for long enough for me to trust him. But that's how unpredictable it is. And at that point, the minute he says that, I have to drive myself because I have to get to where I have to get to.
That's true.
So that's it. I enter my car and I'm going. And you know, people on this side of town, having a driver is so weird. But in Lagos, if you want to be productive, you best have a driver.
You best have a driver that you can, if she hits the fan, excuse my French, you can actually leave your driver around the car and figure yourself out.
Enter Okada,
aka motorcycle.
Enter Keke.
But I'm telling you, like, if you guys literally call your friends, because we're having a party here. I wanted this to be informational, but I also wanted us to have fun. So we're going to talk a little bit about luck. And if you have any questions, because I might not get to it, I might not think about it, let me know in the chat, please, so I don't miss it. So when was this that you thought, I've been doing this for people, my husband and I are like high points? What time of year was this?
So I think it was, I'll say beginning of 2018.
Okay.
That was when we started to think through the process and said, like, okay, let's do this. And luckily for me, I didn't have to do a lot. My husband had almost all the points that was needed. I didn't have to do IELTS.
Must be nice.
So let me just give you a bit of backtrack. So before my husband proposed to me, he proposed to me 2018, February 2018. Before he proposed to me, 2017, my best friend was like, let's go to Canada. I was like, okay. So like, first thing, let's go and do IELTS. I registered for IELTS. Let's go.
Ginger was plenty.
The day, a month before IELTS, I got one conference in all expense paid, Senegal. I told my friend, I said, friend, you see, IELTS is important. But this conference, all expense, today, I've not gone to Senegal before. Help me, let me. She said, go to business. So she was like, when you're ready, go. So that's how I didn't do IELTS because of that conference. I went, she did IELTS. So by 2018, she had gotten in.
Gotcha.
She got in by April. She had gotten in April.
Okay.
So
of 2018.
Of 2018. So 2018, my husband proposed to me, and then we started this discussion. So we began our process 2018. Coming.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, proof. We better stop playing.
But then at that point, because I realized that I didn't have to do much, I was like, see how good this to work. I didn't do IELTS. I didn't do anything. All I did was, because I'm a travel person, I arranged all the documentation for him. So he had to do everything. So he did IELTS. I was just making sure I was just assign, okay, let's do it. B, C, D, E. Yeah, get me this. And I give him forward. This is the format. Go and give your person the office. This is the format. So I arranged all the documentation, but I didn't do any of the real work.
Well, and the real work is really just IELTS and getting letters.
Exactly.
It's not.
But the real work is also going online and doing all those things.
All the fact checking, which is making sure the document you're saying is this. Because
exactly.
Honestly, no matter how true the documents are, if it's not in the right place, you can get denied. Like honestly, putting like everything chronologically, all of that really matters. And I would say that's the real work. It's not writing IELTS. That's how your husband says.
That's why they pay me money. Hello? They pay me money for this kind of thing.
True.
So I did what I usually would do for a client, but I was doing it for myself.
Okay.
So I put all the documents together, and that took us a couple of months. And I think it was May that we actually submitted. In May, and November came out.
Okay, so May to November, which is not even up to like 5 to 6 months.
Yeah.
And but then you landed in March. So November 28th, the world was still a beautiful place. I literally was in Nigeria in February of this year, and we're turning up. My fiance at the time and I were like, but then March comes around. We're Zankoing on the plane. But then March comes around and everything is shut. Like, why did you decide, we're going to land in March? Because you have to get our fares together?
I bought my ticket in November. The minute it came, I'm a travel person. So I always buy things ahead.
Okay.
I bought our ticket in November. The day it came out, 2 weeks later, I bought our ticket. I got cheap ticket, 270,000 round trip.
270K.
Yes, my sister.
Okay, so averagely tickets are like 500,000
Yeah.
right? And you get for 270. So guys, just in case you're looking for trips, affordable trips, this is your plug. You're welcome. You're welcome. Now give me my 10%.
That's the way I function. Like as long as we can, so we discuss we discuss everything. When do we want to live? What do we want to do? We discuss everything and we make sure that everything works together. So we picked the date since what's it called, November 2019. So when Corona happened, we were like, oh my God, what do we do?
Yeah,
we still go, but the ticket was already there. So at that point, we were like, if we don't go, the landing visa will expire.
Because that usually is 6 months, right? From after
So
you get your confirmation.
exactly, it was 6 months. And so at that point, our landing visa was expiring April.
Okay.
First week in April. So literally, we had maybe 2 weeks left on the landing visa.
Okay.
And this is a novel thing where we weren't even sure. We know that, okay, definitely IRCC would say, okay, it's not your fault. Don't worry, we understand.
We can give
but we don't know how long that would be.
Yeah, and you have already started gathering.
We had already shut down things. He had quit his job. I had quit my job. We had started. People are started collecting my belongings. I didn't have a couch. I didn't have shoe anymore.
That's true, because you're literally closing your entire life.
Everything.
Like, in that region.
So it was. We had to take the chance, but we second guess every single moment. And my husband and I will do that thing where today I'm like, let's not go. He's like, no, let's go. And next day it's like, no, let's not go.
And then next thing is like, go. Okay, so but you had your accommodation arranged because you have family.
So we had family. So that was our soft landing, and it's so important if you can find someone to stay with, and if it's family, all the better. So we already had where to stay. That was
okay. That's definitely always good.
That was a good thing. But I mean, by the time we landed, so the day before, what's it called? The government had said permanent residents and citizens only. But the airports hadn't closed.
Gotcha.
And we're on British Airways and they were still flying. So we're like, are we permanent residents or not?
Yeah.
That's what we're just like.
Because at the time you're not sure because your landing happens when you arrive. Right?
Exactly. So we're like, so I said,
let's just go.
Some of us said, what's the words that we're
cooking? They will send us back.
They will send us back, and our rent is still there because in Lagos we pay 1 year rent.
Okay, yes.
So I said our apartment is still there. Last, we go back home and we sleep.
Oh my God! But I actually love that adventure in the sense of you don't know what's there, but you're going to try.
See, it's not a good feeling. And then because we did Lagos to London, so we're like 3 legs. They might stop you in Lagos Airport. Or stop in London Airport, or stop in the Toronto set.
Yeah, and then
so we literally couldn't do anything at any point.
I feel like that feeling once you've gone through CBSA, right? Like the border services, you've gone through immigration, and then once that piercing doors open and you see your family members, it's like relief.
No, the relief was it's so funny. When we got to Toronto, the lady was like, "Oh, you guys were not supposed to have flown." Okay, she's coming. She said she should sit down. She said, we're not supposed to have flown. That the government said only permanent residents. And she said, you're not technically a permanent resident until you land.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm going to go and talk to my boss. So she went to my boss, came back. My boss said, it's up to me.
Oh my God,
up to me. It's up to me. Last night, she sent me back to my country. Leave me, Jack.
It's not like I was really suffering. But someone actually said, Lagosians call suffering. What was the word again? Unpredictable experiences. Yes. So I was like, I'm going back to my unpredictable experiences. Okay, so all you've known about Canada so far is mostly indoors because we've all been locked down.
Yeah.
So how would you say your experience, especially in Toronto, has been with the whole not being able to do much compared to like the plans you probably set for yourself for your first year or first 6 months in Canada?
Honestly, it's one thing I can say is Canadians are nice. Because I visit the States a lot. People are not nice in the States, man. Everybody just like focused on. Nobody looks at you. Here, people are looking at you. Why are you so weird?
No, right now it's touristy eyes. Like
Really?
I'm telling you, listen, I've been in Canada for a while. At first I was like, oh my god, people are so nice. After a while, I'm like, leave me alone. Just stop saying hi to me. You don't mean it.
Okay.
Because like,
So it's not like they're not nice. It's just that you get tired of the niceness.
they're polite. It's branding. It's like they like to be seen as polite, but when you need help, go to Canadians sometimes and they're like, except in some neighborhoods. I'm sorry if you're Canadian, but it's just my experience and it's the truth. It's like after a while, like there's no deepness sometimes. It's just very like, hello, hi, you good?
I'm not expecting you to be nice. I think that stuff is all
you say that now until you need like a community.
Okay.
Of people.
Okay.
But again, and that's why sometimes people always just like fall back to their own like community of people they know from where they're from. Because like when you reach out to Canadians, generally it's like, hi, hello. When you're deep help, miss me with it. So let's talk about your job. Because you have a job now. Again, people are like losing jobs in pandemic. In this pandemic, people are just putting their lives on pause because they're like, oh, everything is locked down. So I'm sure careers are locked down. But before we get to how you got, actually, let's talk about it. How did you get the job? Like, because one thing I know from our conversation on Wednesday is your networking strategies are like literally on protein shakes. I just started networking. That's the irony. Really? Like literally 3 weeks ago. I honestly didn't want to. You know how you're hesitant. You've always relied on yourself for everything for such a long time, and I've been that person. I just didn't want to seem like I was trying to reach for something, or so I didn't even want to tap into my LinkedIn connections. I'm not really. I never really was active on LinkedIn. I have a lot of followers on LinkedIn because people know me from all the different things that I do. And everything, yeah. But I think it was May, June. Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, those places were heavy with bad news. That's true. If you remember, there was just back-to-back bad news. Yeah, especially with COVID and then the whole racial injustice and everything. Yeah. So I deleted my Instagram, deleted my Facebook, deleted my Twitter, and I left just LinkedIn. And when that happens, I usually just put all my focus into the one app that is available, and that was LinkedIn. So it was at that point I was like, Shade, you've been sleeping on LinkedIn. Don't sleep. Wake up. You've been sleeping on LinkedIn. Wake up. And I was like, okay, all right, it's time to wake up. So I now went back and I started to look. And I was like, oh, I already have a lot of connections in Toronto, I was like, I have just many people and I just never really tapped into it. So I just started. And that's the kind of person I am. When I start, I understand social media, I understand how it works. Put out good top content, engage people, you will get it back. So I started to post, and I'm just, people were just like, oh, this guy is here. Oh, and I tried to, and that's literally how I got into that WhatsApp group. Literally, I posted something, and Kechi saw it. She entered my DM, said, "Do you like to join the group?" I was like, huh. Okay, so it was let's actually run that back. So you posted content on your LinkedIn. Yes. And then Kechi, one for Robinson, saw it and then reached out to you. And I was like, okay, so a lot of times in marketing or in personal branding, people tell you put yourself out there in the sense of reach out to people, ask them for coffee chat straight up. But your strategy is more even pull. It's like I will put content out there and see who comes. Exactly. I do the pull. I don't do push because I feel like push is not organic. I like organic. Gotcha. I'm an organic person. Like I always tell people, I send out invites on LinkedIn. I don't put a message. If you want to add me, look at my profile. If you feel we have the same values, add me. Okay. If we don't, I give you 5 days. If you don't respond to me in 5 days, I remove you. Because see, when someone ignores you on LinkedIn, it works against you with the analytics. People don't realize that. Actually, let's run that back. When someone ignores you on LinkedIn, it works against your analytics. Interesting. Because if you get ignored a lot, LinkedIn starts to believe that you're just trying to spam people. You don't know these people that are reaching out to. What are these people that are reaching out to? No one wants to add you back. Interesting. Because when someone adds you on LinkedIn, you can either accept or ignore. Yep. But guess what? Before the person presses ignore, you can withdraw. Yep. And it's actually hidden. I withdraw some applications because I used to be in sales, right? It's 5 days I give you. It's like when I go out like 3 months, you've not withdrawn. With 3 months. Hey! You don't mess with Nigerians and pride. It's like 3 months. Even me. The declutter is their agent because it goes really well. No, I can't do it. Right now today I will do like 3. You know what's funny? Actually, I started doing like sometimes people don't know that you have added them because sometimes there's a lot because like I will just be one of those people right now and say there's probably 200 and something invitations pending in my LinkedIn, and I'm just like sometimes I miss people, but with the withdrawal it means that you can actually go back and add them, and then it pops up top. And if you really want to have that connection.
If you really want.
Okay, tell us more about this, your pool, personal branding, and how you actually got it to work for you. Like, what was the content you posted about, and how did it actually attract the right people?
So two things. Personal branding is so important because of for the pool strategy. Because what you're doing with the pool strategy is you are placing yourself in such a place that people will see you and they're attracted to you. And that's what you want. That's what for the pool. Because with the push, you're just going. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like I don't reach out to people. I do reach out to people.
Okay.
But you see, by the time I reach out to you, I've made myself look so attractive that you feel like, oh my God, she's doing me a favor by making me reach out to her.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes I add people and they're telling me thank you.
Yep.
I'm like, okay.
Oh wow.
All right.
You're welcome.
Okay. So your personal brand is one, your content is the other one.
Yeah.
So personal brand meaning, how do you construct your profile? What does your profile look, feel, smell like? Your profile must have a personality.
Yeah.
A lot of people have profiles on LinkedIn and they're just like,
I'm a well-driven, passionate, organized timekeeper.
Sure. I can't tell who you are.
Yeah.
And so unless you already have some serious accolades, someone won't want to just connect with you based on. So unless you maybe already the CEO of Coca-Cola. You
literally can have a robot as your
exactly. If I don't have a picture, no problem. But if you're a regular person and you have no personality, you're not going to have people want to come and connect with you.
Yeah.
So I work on my personal profile, and it's a daily work. It's not, my profile is there fixed. No. Every time something happens, I'm tweaking. I'm constantly tweaking my profile. Constantly. There's no finished work there.
I agree with that part. Because sometimes people tell you, like, I literally do LinkedIn reviews for people, and then people say my LinkedIn profile is done. It's really never done. Like sometimes you're done. Like you finish your career. Like I don't like how that sound. That internship made me sound because of where I am now in my career, and I want some aspects of that thing I did 5 years ago to speak to where I'm going for the next year. So I have to go tweak how it sounds. Not a lie, you're just emphasizing certain parts of the past experience you had, and actually making use of that bio description piece.
It's very important.
It's like people like you can choose to talk in third person or in first person, but you need to have a voice. I remember when I saw your profile, I look at all these words, and especially Black women. I'm telling you, like we always underestimate ourselves. We say things like assisted a project in getting. Girl, you own that project. You led the project to completion. Put your words there. If it wants to blind them, let it blind them. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Black women, I think we always tend to look down on our achievements a lot, and it's because society in general doesn't elevate us. Yeah. So we forget that if no one around you is elevating you, I mean, honey, elevate yourself. Elevate you. You are great. You're beautiful. You are gorgeous. You are the one. You are the prize.
You are the glow.
So it's a journey. It's a daily journey.
Mm-hmm.
Now the second thing is the content, and I mean I do business and career coaching. I was speaking to one of my clients recently, and I told her to do a post on LinkedIn. And when she finished the post, the next time we met, I screenshotted her and I told her, what's wrong with this post? And she was like, yeah, it's a bit boring. It's like, no, that's a bit boring. You didn't write it from the first person. You didn't write it like you were writing the post. You wrote it like you were just trying to give me information. So she wrote an article about, because she's in Nigeria right now, but she's a US citizen. But she came to a project in Nigeria. So I told her to write an article about the things she's learned moving to Nigeria during the pandemic. Just like what I'm doing now, but I just write it down. And she wrote it, and I said, okay, now post it on your LinkedIn and get people to go there to the Medium article
and read it.
And then she did that, and it was such a bland post. You know, I was like, you're not going to get people to engage with your post because there is no personality behind it. And I know this guy's like you and I. Her energy is fire. She has energy. But, you know, she's always like, I don't want to come across... I don't know, if LinkedIn is supposed to be serious. I'm like,
let's actually talk about that because there's the balance between professional.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, like I struggle because if you really know me, I'm very yellow. I'm the type of person that can dance in a boardroom full of executives. But professional, what it looks like in white America is a blue suit, brown shoes, looking a certain way. And the white man, average middleman, look at you like you're so out of the box. And after a while, you start to feel uncomfortable in your own skin and your own energy, trying to conform to what societal norms of professional looks like. But bro, you're literally your LinkedIn, your afro out and your yellow brown blazer. Yep. Tell me, like, what are the thoughts or the affirmations, so to speak, that you say to yourself to actually say, this is my personality, is my definition of professional, take it or leave it. Like, where did you come to that?
it's a journey first. There's no finished product anywhere.
Okay.
Anyone that tells you like this is done, the person doesn't understand yet. Every day I tell myself I'm enough.
I am enough.
Just tell yourself that every day, and you must believe it, because the truth is, if you try to be what society tells you to be, you will always fall short. There's only one you. So the minute you're trying to change that you're fitting into someone else's
mold,
and you can never fit into someone else's mold.
You'll always be that outcast. Yeah.
So guess what? The minute you embrace who you are and embrace it with like everything you own, people will be like, okay, all right, that's who she is. People kind of know when you're being your 100% authentic self. They kind of know, and they kind of just accept it because they feel like, okay, that's who she is.
Yeah.
And so it's a journey. For a long time, I hated my hair.
What?
I know.
My heart literally just went like,
I know. For a long time, I was just like, this hair is so, it doesn't fall right, it doesn't do this right, because I didn't like how I looked with my hair. So to be honest,
wow.
There's a certain picture of what a beautiful woman is, and she doesn't look like this. That's what they tell you.
Hair any day, Jesus.
No, but you know now.
Yeah, I know.
What movies say, what the magazines say. A beautiful woman doesn't have big nose,
True.
big lips, her hair is standing like this. A beautiful woman has, stretched long hair, features. She's
lighter
nice
skin.
and lighter skin. She's nice and svelte.
Yeah.
All those things, and those things. This is what we grew up with growing up. It takes a lot of conditioning, and we were conditioned.
Yeah, it's a conditioning.
It was a conditioning, and then you grow up and you're always second guessing everything that you are, and saying, "Do I need to be slimmer? Should my shoulders be like this? Maybe I should just do like this. Oh, let me stop being noisy. Let me lower my voice.
I speak too loud.
It's so much because you're trying to see. At the point, I was just like, "Hey, one no, Jehovah, I can't run mad. I cannot run mad. If you are not from Nigeria, maybe you understand what I'm saying. I can't run mad.
No, I don't like block your ears to everything.
I just like,
too many voices in your head.
You know what? I'm just going to be me. And if that's not okay, then you go.
And then you find the people. I actually learned something this weekend about like the rule of 10. It's like for every idea, for every concept, including a person being an idea, there's going to be 3 people who absolutely love it, 3 people who absolutely hate it, and 4 people who will be undecided. The problem is sometimes those 3 people who absolutely love it sometimes come way later in the game. And all you're dealing with is people who hate it and the people who are undecided, and you think your idea is crap. Meanwhile, your 3 true supporters were just not seen when they should have been seen. Speaking about that, about an idea or a concept, I'm sure you've had to fine-tune your personal brand, being your LinkedIn, obviously, but also your resume to fit what is called a North American standard to get a job, especially with someone who has a vast experience in travel, in the travel industry, in the media industry, as well as in business. What aspects of your resume have you felt like you had to amplify to suit the North American market for looking for a job, as well as aspects you've had to diminish or, put a little bit, because again, a resume has 1-2 pages and you're trying to fit stuff in there. So how have you remodified your resume pretty much?
I mean, so first off, I didn't think that my being a business I've never put it on there. Since I came in here, I never put that I was a business owner. And I've been a business owner for 10 years. And my business is still running as I speak to you.
Yeah.
People have money with me from people who are waiting
Talk about that passive income. You're like
people have paid me for jobs that we haven't done because of Corona.
Wow.
I have almost like 1 million naira worth of jobs waiting. The amount in the account like this.
Yeah.
So it's not like my business is dead. Just of course there's nothing happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I've run this business for over 10 years. I've trained people. I have amazing women who, and I'm very big on women. So I always employ more women than men. So I've had amazing women I've trained over the years. I have a very, my mission, our company culture was inclusive. We trained, we mentored. So I've done this, but I never thought it was something. I didn't think it would add value in terms of being on my resume. Mm-hmm. So I always put my country director role, because it was a North American company. I was like, okay, that would maybe resonate with them because it's North America and it's closer to what
just something they can identify.
Yeah, But honestly, there hasn't really. I'm still struggling with what needs to be. What should I put out there? I'm still struggling with it. Mm-hmm. I won't lie to you. But I mean, at the beginning when I first came, I just threw out my resume to see what was it gonna hit any traction, and it did. I was after a lot of tweaking, I did get, I interviewed for some non-profit roles, great roles, and I wasn't picked, but I was, it made me feel okay, my resume, it's actually,
getting the interviews.
Yeah, it is. But there's a lot of me that I haven't put on my resume for Canada. A lot.
And I think that also comes from like back home in Nigeria, as I know I experienced this, like having a side hustle or having a side business in a corporate setting wasn't as glorified as here. People keep their lives very separate. Like my mom works in FIRS, which is the Inland Revenue Service. And the next thing, no one knows about, like you hear about it if you have a friend at work that she has businesses on the side that she runs a not-for-profit, but it's not something she speaks about in her day-to-day, which I found very different in Canada. Like every place I've worked, it's like, oh, the business is this, and this is on office hours, being very proud about the business own, because to them, it shows that there's more to you than your 9 to 5. It shows to you that there's passion, there's experience, and that you can see more than the role you are currently vertically working in. So because you have like a bird's eye view on running a business. And for a lot of organizations, that has been a plus. But before I came here, I would never have put like extracurricular or a side business on the resume. So those are the few things I've had to be like, that's really different from.
And that's why I say, again, it's a journey. You must always speak to people. You must always find out what's going on. And you and I spoke. The minute you and I finished speaking, I went, because I have an app I use for my resumes.
What's the app called?
Resume Nerd.
Resume Nerd. Did you get that? So what does Resume Nerd do?
It just helps you set up as many resumes and cover letters in one app.
Okay, so we're going to talk about many resumes and what that and like because a lot of people have just the one resume they use for everything for every role.
No.
But please continue.
Yeah. So the app basically you just set up everything in there. So you just so I don't have to always open up Microsoft Word to do all of these things. So the app is just put in what you want. So I have each resume already. So I just put in the details and then you just send it to yourself as an email. Yeah. Or if you're using your laptop, you just download it straight as a PDF.
Okay, amazing. So that means you also have different resumes for different things.
Yeah, I mean, because my background is very diverse.
Yeah.
So I mean, not everyone would need different resumes. Although I think everyone should have different resumes, no matter what. Because like my husband, for instance, he has a background in project management, but from his resume, I always told him, I said, look, you have, and he has an MBA. I'm like, you could do operations, high-level operations, because you have that, and you're very analytical. You have that. Financial background, so I'm like, you should have 2 resumes and you should be applying for 2 sets of jobs. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, he was really, and he didn't really go with it because every man with your own kettle. So
one day, literally the job of a lifetime. So there's no quitting that. Okay.
So I have a resume for client service and customer service because it's something I'm passionate about. I have a marketing resume. I have an operations resume. I have my CSR non-profit resume. Okay. And then I have my people, culture, diversity resume. Amazing.
So that's one you with 5 different experiences and how to curate it for the right role. I honestly think that's very important to mention because I'm telling you, like, they didn't teach me this in the 3 schools I went to. It's like, what's your one resume? And then I think it was after my first internship, I was blessed to have this boss who was very interested in my own goals. And he was like, oh, this resume is really good for product management and stuff, but I also know you're interested in sales. So can you tell me about what aspects of your previous roles were focused on sales? So it's not a lie, because if you think about it, like a resume literally will ask you for 3 to 4 or 5 bullet points for one job. Meanwhile, you've worked there for years. Exactly. So it's you've definitely touched on different experiences in that role. So it makes sense actually curate differently based on the things you touched on in those roles.
Especially in this market, because I feel like, especially with COVID, before maybe there would be 200 people applying for one role. Now you have almost 1,000 people for one role. So how do you stand out if you have such a generalized resume? If they're looking for head of marketing and sales, and you've been an operations manager, you can't apply with that operations manager resume and hope to get somebody who has had a head of marketing and sales background, probably get the eyeball closer to it. Meanwhile, as operations, you've probably done marketing and sales.
Because it's under something.
Because it's always under a lot of
operations. Yeah.
So that means that all you have to do was tweak it and talk more about that part of your operations work, and all of a sudden you are right in front.
But yeah, speaking about that part, about a lot of people applying for thousands of roles, a lot of people, newcomers who come today, just apply online a lot of times for their jobs. Through the work I've done, I've seen that even though in some roles, some companies that works, a lot of it is networking, mentoring, and sponsorship. Can you tell me a little bit about your take on those and actually how you actually got your job?
I got my job applying regularly on Indeed.
On Indeed.
I was really surprised.
So you still work with people?
It was very random. I applied in May.
Okay.
And they called me, I think, end of May or first week of June. And funny enough, I should have started work since June, but because of anti-Rona.
Rona is a man, it's Uncle Rona.
Uncle Rona, exactly. I knew that.
It's Uncle Rona. Women don't get this type of stress.
So, like when I got onto LinkedIn, that's when I realized that, oh my God, I should have been here earlier. I could have saved myself a lot. Because I realized that I would get more traction if people were actually recommending me for roles. Yep. And it was when I started to really network on LinkedIn that I stopped applying for roles I didn't know anyone in the company. And literally, this job I have, it's a nice job. I like it. I love the company. I love the people in the company. But it's not the job that is for me. You understand? No, it's honestly totally true. And a lot of people don't share that. Please, thank you for saying that. A lot of people is like, oh, I landed my first job and it's perfect because every newcomer, myself included, literally you take the job you need to take to get the job you want. Yes. But this is, I get what you're saying. Now, don't get me wrong, this job is a good job. It's not what you want for your career. Yeah, it's not. It's an operations job, which is great. But I really wanted a job where I could learn a lot more about Canadians. And this job is very isolated, which is good and bad. It's good because it's isolating, I have time to do anything I want. Yeah. But because it's isolating, I don't get the opportunity to really interact and learn new apps. Oh, because I know that Canadians are big on apps. There's an app for every single thing. Oh, by the way, have you guys downloaded your new COVID app from the government? No, I tried. I haven't either. I'm just like, tomorrow. No, but you guys love apps. We actually do. There's an app for everything. But I honestly feel like there's also the exodus of apps where people are like, if it's not a web app, I'm not downloading that to my phone. The storage issues are real. No, but a lot of these apps can also still get accessed online. Yeah. I just feel like right now with this new company, I think I'm on like the 6th app. And every company has like different apps they're using. Oh yes, you have Slack, you have Humi, you have the working space, meeting room apps, everything. So I really wanted to work with a company where I could actually really interact, maybe not physically, but we're working together. With this app, with this role, there is a lot of independent work, which is fine, but it's not really what I want. Which is why I'm saying it's not really what I wanted, and also the money is shit. But but it's good. I like how you already know what's not great about it. You know what I mean? Okay, so I know my worth. You have to know your worth, and it comes with talking to people. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about have you had mentors throughout your career or sponsors? And for those of you who don't know the difference, I learned this recently from our mentorship group. A mentor pretty much is someone who would help be your bounce board against ideas you have, who support your career, not afraid to tell you truth, good or ugly. However, a sponsor is a person who can actually speak for you behind closed doors, who would literally put their lives, career lives, not actual lives, on the pretty much on the platter, on the line for you to actually grow your career. A lot of times they're either senior or they have the authority and position to actually put their names down for you. So have you had people like that in your life, in your career, who have been in Nigeria? Okay. Not here, not yet here. So one thing I have is a personal thing. I'm not really going to share it because I'm like, I don't know if I want to share it. But I have a personal board of directors. I learned that too recently about having a personal, treating yourself as a company. Yes. So I have people, different things. They do different things in my life. So I have a mentor. I have a trainer. I have a business friend. I have a personal friend. I have friend. I have different people for different things. You don't want to be friend. That's my only lesson. Not friend. Like, you don't want to be that. Friend. Yeah. I have my spiritual friend. I have my accountability friend. Yeah. So different, and they all play different roles in my life. but they're all as important because all those parts of your life are very important.
Agree.
So I've always had mentors who I go to them and I will sit down with them for 2-3 hours, just listening to them.
Mm-hmm.
Just listening to them, because what a lot of people fail to do and realize is that if you want someone to be in your corner, don't always go to them when you want something.
Yeah.
That's
people can smell it.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
If you really want someone in power to see you and say, I will speak your name in rooms,
yes,
you must never go to them when you need something. Yeah. Go to them just to go to them.
And check on them. Just because a lot of people don't do that.
A lot of people just always
call this one VP to I just wanted to check on you. She was so happy. In my mind, I'm like, why are you so happy? People don't check on you. But it was the feeling of a lot of people in my level who come up to that. It's why I need you to do something for me, please.
And it's a long game.
It's a long game.
It's not a short game. It's not, oh, what can you do? What have you done for me lately? What can you do for me lately? No. It's a long game. Okay. If you see someone you admire, there's someone I really, really admire, Ndidi Uneli. She's an amazing woman. I don't know if you know Leap Africa.
Yep,
yes. So she's one of the founders of Leap Africa. She has a company called Sahel Consulting. She also has an agriculture company. She's just, oh my God, she's just amazing. I have never asked her for anything in my life. Nothing. I don't. Okay, well, I've asked her to speak at my event. I've never asked her for anything personal before. Mm-hmm. But I make sure that she knows that I look up to you, ma.
Yeah, like,
you, ma. Yeah, I'm fashioning my life against you, ma. So she knows. Like, she knows that this is someone that I'm like her. You know, I don't really know how what's the difference in our age, but I know she has kids, like 3 kids. But she knows that this person considers herself her mentee. She knows, and it's important. And this relationship I'm talking about, it's over 10 years, and she was at my wedding. Mm. She came for my wedding. You know, so that's it. It's a long game. I have still not used her for anything.
Yeah.
Nothing. I don't even want to use her for anything. If I have my way, I don't want to use her. I don't want her to just know that, know my name. I'm okay.
And that's totally fine sometimes. But a lot of people ask, so how do I go about finding a mentor or sponsor? Because yes, you don't always have to go to people with and ask, but how do you position yourself to find somebody who would be interested in taking care of you and your career?
I mean, the first thing I think is, first of all, you must pick someone who has things in common with you. Mm-hmm. Whether it's career, whether it's something. You can't, personally, I can't imagine going to Dangote now and saying, Dangote, oh God, Dangote, what do we have in common? I'm not in the agricultural business. I'm not in the cement, sugar. None of the above.
I can tell you what I have in common, Dangote. What? We both love money.
Yeah, hallelujah. That means we all have that in common with everything. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you have to center in and say, do we have something in common? Secondly, do you have value? See, before you ask someone to be a mentor or sponsor, you must bring value to the table. The person must see value in wanting you in their network. Mm-hmm. Because what you are asking is for that person to include you in their network. And what is your value to them? And what are you bringing to this conversation? What are you bringing to the table?
And a lot of times it's hard for people to even know what that is, because some people say, like, because I'm the junior one, I don't know what my value is. I've had those questions to myself, but what I've seen sometimes is, say this person is hosting an event, I will offer to volunteer.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, I know you're having that meeting. Do you need someone to take notes? So things like that. Those are small ways.
Let me use Ndidi. I asked Ndidi to come and speak at my event as my keynote speaker. And then she was also, she had just launched a book. And I told her, I said, please bring your book so I can get the women in my network to buy. I sold like maybe 20 books for her that day.
Wow. So
that is, I brought value
in actually seeking mentorship and something. Okay. So I think we're coming to an end, because I've learned a lot. We've learned about board of directors, and you don't have to, like, it's something to start thinking about. You might not have those directors in every sphere, but who is operations, who is events, who is spiritual, who is family, is something to start thinking about. We've learned about Resume Nerd, where literally you can create different resumes for your different roles. Yeah. We've learned about, like, taking the risk, just coming in the pandemic sometimes, and applying to jobs online can still get you that job. However, it's very important to actually have a referral network, knowing someone in the company, and constantly rebranding yourself on your resume and your LinkedIn is not one of them.
I want to say something as well. If you want to apply if you want to work at a certain company, I would advise that you start to seek out the people before there's a role. But again, one thing I do is I I pick people who I look at their profile. Again, I must have something in common with you.
Mhm.
So either you're a woman of color or you're an immigrant, or I don't just pick because you're a recruitment officer. No. Don't even go for recruitment officers.
Because they're already bombarded.
Exactly. Don't go.
They will even
Maybe look for someone in a department that you would like to work.
Yep, and that can share their experience.
That can share their experience. But when you add them, please don't start asking them for jobs.
Please, do you have a job for me?
Don't do it. Don't do it, please. But no, please. To God as a help all of us, don't do it. They will ignore you.
Yeah.
Finish.
Okay, so I have a question from Titi. She's like, how do you actually find mentors? And do you let things happen organically, or do you actively seek out to people and reach out to them?
So I it's a mixture of both.
Okay.
I love organic because I feel like that's when I'll get the best of you and you'll get the best of me.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, how many organic can happen now? So again,
I love the realness.
how many? So you have to also be intentional. Seek out the people who are, again, who have things in common and who you can bring value to. So when I first started reaching out to Ndidi, I didn't have anything to offer her. I wasn't the country manager at that point. I didn't have anything to really offer her. So I just used to, pump her. If she posted something on LinkedIn, I would pump her up. Hey, are you doing great, man?
That's my strategy. I swear to you, and it wasn't something I thought about, but it's just like I see a woman succeeding in something I want to do because I've always loved speaking. When I see a young Black woman who's killing her game as a public speaker, I'm like, so that's always very okay.
So you reach out to them without reaching out to them.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the people who are on social media start to be their number one supporter. If they post something, they're promoting something, promote for them. She's promoting. I promote for you, no problem, auntie. I got you. They will notice you eventually.
And then things like that. They have an event or they have a book. Like
go volunteer.
Say,
I would like to volunteer. Okay, let me help you manage this. Under the chairs. I'll manage under the chair. Don't worry. I got you.
Like that.
It's just, so again, you have to bring value.
And another thing too is like sometimes we always think about mentorship and coaching we think far to people we don't know. A lot of times, so we can go back in our careers and people who we've worked with.
Exactly.
One of my very first internships and the boss I used to have, like with all this Black Lives Matter, because I kept an open line of communication with him. He's like, he's a senior leader now at RBC, and he's like, I need you to come speak to my team just because. And so if you ask me on a normal day, is that person a mentor? I might not say yes, but we've had mentorship moments. I think there's also that misconception that a mentor is somebody you have in your life as one role for 5-10 years versus you have mentorship moments with different people at different times that you can continue to engage.
And I think those people, you could call them mentors. Yeah. It doesn't mean that because
they have to give title.
Yeah, there might be a fixed thing. Like there's a woman who I worked for, Fumi Victor Kibo. She was one of my first female bosses, and she's like, I love her. And I consider her my mentor. See, you see all these things I used. She was my first guinea pig. The way I hacked that woman, the way I pump her up. She said she used to be like, Shade, what did I do to deserve this? I'm like, you taught me well, and you paid me money when I worked for you. So I consider her my mentor because she runs an event management company. And she's doing really well. She has a successful marriage. She has a kid. I love her life,
values,
and that's for me. If I see you and I say that this is what I'd like, I find a way to show you that I have value for you.
Gotcha.
I find a way to make you see that there's value here. Or just see, I have value. Bring me into your network. Bring me in.
And honestly, sometimes value is things like even your energy. Like it took me a while for me to actually start saying my energy is I was a loud child. Oh, Jenny, sit down. Oh, Jenny, shush. And then after a while, oh my God, I love your energy. I was hearing it a lot. I love your energy. I'm like, you know what? I put that thing on my resume. I'm like, I literally say I'm an energy field. And people are like, oh, what do you mean? And then they see me in the interview and they're like, I know what you mean. And so it's things like that we might not have considered, just like reflecting back on what people have said about you for you to start to actually think about what your value is when you start. So I think that's it from us. Do we have any other questions? Because thank you so much, guys, for staying up late if you're in West Africa. Resume nerd. Oh, Ura got it. Thank you so much. So with that, I have one last question. Okay. Reflecting back on your life 5-10 years ago, especially coming to Canada now in the midst of the pandemic, is there anything you would have changed?
No.
There you have it.
No. I'm gonna say I wish I was single right now, but no.
Why would you say that? Everybody wants to have like a partner.
I hope my husband is watching now. Yimu for you. Yimu.
Oh my God, guys! Thank you so much for tuning in today. I thoroughly enjoyed it. For my Nigerians who are sleeping, Bamidele, I will save this video. I have it posted up. If you are new on the channel, please subscribe, share this video with a friend, and we'll be doing this more often, bringing amazing newcomers to the channel to hear their story. Have a lovely one, guys. Bye.
Bye.
This is beautiful.
And this is